Hello guys and welcome to the Dungeon of Dredmor. The Dungeon of Dredmor is a graphical roguelike game created by Gaslight Games. It was probably released I think 2011 if I remember correctly, and has 3 expansion packs, which is our main expansion and why we're playing it now rather than when it came out. The expansion packs aren't needed, but they really add a lot to the game. The game's kind of a quirky, self-indulging, just blindingly difficult roguelike. So the first expansion pack, which you see here, is the Realm of the Diggle Gods. It's more of a quirky expansion pack that adds a couple interesting races and adds more depth into the Diggle Gods. Followed by, you have to name the expansion pack. It's more of a fan-made expansion pack, but which I think is interesting for an indie game. So it adds a more focus on land and love items than races, classes, and enemies, but it does add some. However, the last expansion pack, which is actually my favorite, the Conquest of the Wizardlands, I think it really rounds out the entire series and makes the game a lot less grindy, which I'll explain further as we play. But why don't we hop right into the game? So we're going to make a new game. I always play on door with moderation, because only kids playing else want to have fun, and you just lose on going roguish. Always play permadeath because it's a roguelike. Don't play permadeath. So you can pick your things. I like to play a certain way. So I like axes, dual wielding, berserker rage, master of arms. Where's our smith? Smithing, and now here comes down to your disposable classes. As you see here, we're playing a warrior class. I just think it's kind of easiest to introduce you guys to the mechanics, and later on we can go into some of the more advanced Viking wizardry, necronomics, mathematics, or math magic. I apologize. Plus, there's a lot of magic, banking, like there's banking, communism, Egyptian magic, magical law, paranormal investigator. There's a lot of stuff to see and do. I would go with Clockwork Knight, but you asked at the discover recipes, so I think we're probably better off not going Clockwork Knight early on, and just having our just normal character. Since we're not doing magic, paranormal investigator is a good one. Paranormal investigator is a skill where you do not believe magic exists, so magic does not hurt you. It's some limitations, obviously, because, well, magic always will do some damage to you, but, yeah, I think we're just gonna, because there's so many useful classes, we might just go with Artful Dodger to give us some bonus stats. But you can get additional. I'm gonna go Tinkering anyway. No, we will go Clockwork Knight in the end. Clockwork Knight has some really interesting and useful skills that we're gonna take advantage of here, even though I said we weren't going to originally. So let's run in our character's name. Well, why don't we just name him in old Warcraft? This is a thing I've always liked as a kid, is I always like naming my characters Grom Hellscream if it was a warrior. I don't know why. You guys hopefully know it from Warcraft, and I'm talking about the old school Grom Hellscream before they ruined them in Warcraft 3. I'm talking about like the Grom Hellscream from Warcraft 2. And I really don't want you kids to confuse it, because there's a big difference. Grom Hellscream was badass in Warcraft 2, and then they kind of made him into a little skinny guy. Anyway, we'll get into the story. In ages past, great heroes bound the Dark Lord Dredmor in the depths of the earth, that his evil would never trouble the land again. Alas, the foul lich Dredmor proved more devious and patient, for he has been loosening his magical boss, slowly freeing himself to again spread his evil in the world of light. He must be stopped. Again. Once more it is time of adventure, of glory. It's time for a hero. Unfortunately, this hero is you. You have been summoned by the king to prove yourself, to save the land and its people, to join the heroes of legend in victory over the dungeons of Dredmor. So there's two ways to play double Dredmor here. Actually, you can use the arrow keys, which I tend to. You can also use the mouse. For the most part, I find arrow keys are better unless you need to interact. Like if I need to interact with this food vendor, I'm just gonna click. Do we have any Zork mitts? No, we do not. Because buying stuff like offals and grated cheese can be useful later in the game, which is another mechanic I will explain to you. So, anything below $10 a unit is good. Since we say there must be a rational explanation, that's from our paranormal investigation skill, we can use that, and boom, we are resistant to all kinds of magical damage. So, useful. Especially because we not going to use magic. Science must have an answer. So you just walk around, mostly just picking up items. You can break tables and do whatever you want. Yeah, we're just going to pick up everything and think can be sold. That's Siegfried. He's a human trapped in Diggle form. It's kind of annoying that we found him first before we found any Diggles. And combat is kind of like just go over and kill stuff. Our beginning items are based on what skills we pick. So see, we have a club and our breastplate and have the cap cog on it, which is what we got from Clockwork Engineering, or from Clockwork Knight rather. So we will find more armors and stuff as we keep going. But because it's well armored, we actually got the arm breastplate. That's why we have the leather cuirass in our inventory. See, this Amazonian bumblebee person wants to kill us. However, it's important to always be gentle and neutral. It is not a bumblebee woman or a bumblebee man. It is a bumblebee person. Because gender neutrality in this day and age. Lockpicks. Lockpicks actually have an more interesting thing in this game than any other game. You guys get experience for picking doors. However, there's no doors that you have to pick. Ooh. Yeah, I always try to do this stuff, which can get me killed sometimes, but you want to get experience because at the higher levels, obviously since it's a roguelite, you need all the experience you can get. So we lockpicked that, we lost, I don't think we lost any. Now we have Brax. Brax is the demon salesman. He is evil, but he does not want to hurt you because he wants to make money off you. And we got hurt by that trap. So he has all kinds of items, leather belt with no name, sacrificial dagger, cyber cones, just a lot of stuff. We're not gonna buy anything. Actually, this is it's kind of expensive, but you want to, we're gonna have to come back. Remember, that's a steel sword, shit. If that's a steel mace, we'd want to come back for that, because steel is the most important. Do not believe we're wearing pants. I always quick sell stuff. So, we actually have a ring. Let's equip that. And we're not going to get a good bonus for using that sword because we're not good with swords, but we're going to go. How many Zork mitts do I have? Which we see here, 413. I'm actually going to buy these pants just because, in case we don't find more pants. Pants are always useful in this game. Don't underestimate just the advantage of wearing pants over not wearing pants. Okay, those are teleport things. And that is their actual name, teleport things. Just so you know. You always drink from fountains, no matter what. There we got a lingering dullness, but so how it works is when we swing, we deal damage with both our weapons. And we leveled up for our first time. It is dangerous to go alone, take this. So our first skill, we want to do something that gives us more trap, which is that orange one there, below the strength. Pretty much, every time you level up, which is actually why I waited, you get certain skills, passive or active, and certain abilities. Like Viking Temperament doesn't do anything, doesn't give us any any stats. However, pretty much, if you've played the game, you know that once in a while you'll get very angry and you will do more damage. So you want to kind of balance out what's going to give you more damage, what's going to help you survive. So pretty much anything with a circle is protection, anything with a square is damage. See there, there's a circle in a piercing symbol. That means we're protected from piercing. We're here. We have a square piercing symbol, which is one at the top. It means we're doing one more piercing damage. I'll go through that quickly, but like I said, we want something that gives us the ability to find traps, because we want to be better at finding traps, because it means we'll fail less and we'll get more experience disarming traps. Which is why usually I take the archaeologist, because you get one trap finding this right at the beginning, and that's the other really good at be the tinkerer. However, since we're just starting out, we don't have all the tinkerer recipes. Tinker's not very useful, but yeah, injected. I always take injected first because of the trap finding ability. So, oh, we're still being attacked. Anytime you take an action here, you have a chance to get stuff, but we'll go through the skills now that we leveled up and I've explained the basics of it. I feel more comfortable going over them all. So we have a couple main stats: burliness, sagaciousness. I can't say. You guys will have to get used to my pronunciation throughout my videos because I am really bad at it, but I believe it is sagacity, nimbleness, caddishness, savviness, and stubbornness. Burliness is your classic just strength stat. Affects how hard you hit people, your life points, block chance, etc. It's very useful for our class. Sagacityness is the main wizard attribute. You can think of it as intelligence. It affects your mad points and magic power mainly. Nimbleness is the classic rogue skill. And I mean rogue as in I'm gonna stab you in the back when you're not looking rogue. It affects your dodge chance, sneakiness, which is a chance for enemy to see you, enemy dodge reduction, and counterattack chance. Nimbleness to me seems like a really good skill, but it depends how your character is set up. Here, it kind of says where your character is leaning towards. Our character is mainly leaning towards a rogue, because I think all our skills we picked were pretty much warrior skills. Yeah, I think the only one that wasn't is Paranormal Investigator, which is kind of more of a neutral skill, so it probably gave us some to warrior and some to rogue. The rest are pretty much all warrior skills, which rogues could take advantage of, but so anyway, what I was saying about nimbleness is as we wear heavy armor, as you can see on this breastplate, it reduces our nimbleness and our chance to dodge. Through that, some directly reduce your chance to dodge. These don't. The chance to dodge is here, which is where it's actually giving us more from our hat and our pants. So it's good skill. Dodge can also is generally, like most games, can be a pretty bad skill to rely on, because as you get higher in abilities, yes, you have a good chance to dodge, but yes, your opponent has a very good chance to smash your face in when they do hit you, which they will eventually. Caddishness is kind of an interesting skill. It's kind of almost like the luck stat. It's pretty much your chance of critical hit, counterattack, things of that nature, where not as much countering attack because that kind of has its own ability. Savviness is kind of its interesting skill. It's kind of a combination between sagacity and nimbleness. It kind of has a chance to avoid trouble, kind of. It's also kind of a luck skill, but it affects different things than caddishness. It's mainly your haywire chance, which is your chance to do a critical with magic, and your sneakiness, which is your chance to not be seen, which makes sense if it's savviness. And stubbornness is your basic. If there was a ability where it helps you tank, stubbornness is that. Helps you ignore damage, magical resistance, block chance. Pretty much it has all the abilities to keep you alive except for the ones held in nimbleness. So then we'll quickly go a couple more stats before we close off this video. We have our melee power, which isn't actually that useful. We're more really concerned with your melee attack up here. See, we have to get 2 and 2, but we also get 2 because we're using a club type weapon and we're good with clubs. That's where the X2 is, if you haven't checked out where that X2 is coming from. Armor absorption, which we just see directly from our armor here. I think we get 1 as well from somewhere, like it's just some base ability here, probably here. Nope, thick skin. Anyway, we'll be getting it somewhere. Oh yeah. Yeah, well, it comes somewhere. Like, there's lots of skills. You have tons of skills. If you play the game, you'll probably see them as go. Trap sight radius is your ability to see traps. Our trap affinity, which we increase with that skill, is our chance to disarm traps. I'm gonna have to learn in this that because I can't really disarm traps as much as I usually do. Block chance is your chance to block, which is negated by your armor absorption. Critical chance is what it is. Counter effect chance is kind of an interesting thing. Your chance to counter an enemy's attack is based upon a combination of your counter chance and your caddishness. So, I think no, not your stats, this is all. So, but I find from experience playing the game, it's also really important to increase your counter effect chance more than anything. I believe the poncho we saw earlier up here, or I can't get back over there, but the poncho up here in this area, it increases counter effect chance directly. Dodge chance we talked about, wand crafting level, and smithing level, alchemy level, and tinkerman level. That's when you try to craft items, which I can show you in the crafting menu here. You need certain skills to craft certain items. See, like here, you need 2. In addition to having 2 copper to make copper boots, you also need a smithing level of 1. And that goes all along until you get to the really useful, cool items like plates of serpentine plates, which we hope to get later on, which is just a combination of a whole bunch of, you just pretty much just keep stacking stuff on your armor in the end game just to make it better and better. So you need skill of 6 to do that, and then that goes for all the other wand crafting and all the other abilities. And then, as you know, you can dodge, but also your enemy can dodge. So it's important for us as a warrior to be able to hit our opponents when they dodge. So enemy dodge reduction is useful. A neat interesting thing about the game is some helmets that stop you from seeing well will actually increase your enemy's dodge distance, which is really interesting. Magic power is your power of magic. Hayward chance is your chance to do critical effects. Sneakiness, we're not sneaky because we're wearing armor. Oh, this armor actually doesn't reduce our sneakiness. If you're wearing like boots, pretty much if you're wearing metal boots, it's hard to sneak up on your opponent. But there's also metal pants, also make it harder, etc. Visual sight range, mainly you get negatives to visual sight range if you get blinded or an enemy does something where you drink something that makes you blind. And then lastly, we have magic resistance and visual sight radius. We have a lot of magic resistance right now because partly from our ring, but we also get a lot from rational explanation and our other skills in the skill tree here. I believe this base. Oh yeah, base it gives 2. There's lots. Like I said, figuring out where all your skills come from is less important than having. Yeah, see, we don't have any skills there, but just checking that. But anyway, I've been rambling on here for a while, and I think that's perfect for the first episode. So we will catch you back in the next episode of the Dungeons of Dredmor. See you soon.